What is up, guys? EJ here, back with another video, and today it's going to be my DVD collection 2016 comedy part 1. So let's get started. Up first we have 21 Jump Street from 2012. Yeah, really funny movie. Great surprise from that year with Jonah Hill and Channing Tatum. Of course, remaking the TV series from the 90s, I believe, that Johnny Depp appeared in back in the day. Yeah, Ice Cube, Dave Franco, Brie Larson. Really good fun, that film. Then of course I have the sequel, 22 Jump Street from 2014. Not as good as the first, but still pretty funny. Okay, up next we have 30 Minutes or Less, I believe from 2011. Not a great movie, but still pretty fun. Jesse Eisenberg, Aziz Ansari, Danny McBride, Nick Swartzen, all funny guys. It has its moments. Next we have 40 Days and 40 Nights. Yeah, pretty funny sex comedy from 2002 with Josh Hartnett and Shannon Sossamon, about a guy who abstains from sex for 40 days. Next we have The 40-Year-Old Virgin from 2005, one of my favorite comedies. Of course, Judd Apatow, great film. Steve Carell, really funny. Catherine Keener, Seth Rogen, Jane Lynch. Yeah, just a great, wonderful cast. Emily Banks. Yeah, fantastic film. Next we have 50-50, another great comedy, one of my favorite films of 2011. Seth Rogen and Joseph Gordon-Levitt, really funny, really touching movie. Anna Kendrick, Bryce Dallas Howard, and Angelica Houston. Up next we have 200 Cigarettes, sorry about the glare. Yeah, film set on New Year's Eve in New York, came out in 1999, really good cast. Ben Affleck, Casey Affleck, Dave Chappelle. Who else? Kate Hudson, I remember, was in this. I really liked her in this. Janine Garofalo, always good to see her. Courtney Love, Jay Moore, Martha Plimpton, Christina Ricci, Paul Rudd. Okay, up next we have Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein from 1948. Of course, Abbott and Costello, one of the great comedy duos of all time. Yeah, that's probably their best and most well-known film. Up next, we have another great screwball comedy from the 40s, Adam's Rib, from 1949 with Spencer Tracy and Katharine Hepburn. Okay, next we have Adventureland from 2009. Terrific film. Love this movie with Jesse Eisenberg and Kristen Stewart, who I hated, of course, in the Twilight franchise, but I enjoy her in this. Bill Hader and Kristen Wiig, Ryan Reynolds, all hilarious. Great movie set at an amusement park. Get the other one back in there. These are kind of tight in here, that's why that one flipped out of there. Next we have Airplane from 1980, one of the funniest films of all time with Leslie Nielsen. Next we have Emily, a fantastic French film from Jean-Jacques Arnaud, I think is the director's name. Let's see if I got that right. Doesn't matter at this point. Jean-Pierre Jeunet, sorry. Audrey Tautou, wonderful. Just a really funny, sweet, touching movie. Yeah, one of my favorite foreign films of the past decade or so. Next we have American Splendor, really funny movie with Paul Giamatti and Hope Davis from 2003, I believe. Next we have Anchorman, The Legend of Ron Burgundy, of course. Will Ferrell's best and most quotable film, in my opinion, from 2004. Hilarious supporting cast. Steve Carell, Christina Applegate, and so on. Paul Rudd. Yeah, the showdown with all the different news crews, really fun stuff. Just so many great one-liners. That's my chopper, you thrashed Broseph. Next we have Anchorman 2, The Legend continues from when the hell did this come out? Only a couple years ago now, from 2014, I think. Yeah, not as good as the first, but still fun stuff. On Blu-ray, of course. Fuck, now I'm dropping everything. My arm's already tired. Next we have Animal House. I'm only on the A's. National Lampoon's Animal House from 1978, one of my all-time favorite comedies. Jim Belushi, of course, classic. A young Kevin Bacon as well. Next we have Arsenic and Old Lace, directed by Frank Capra. Great film starring Cary Grant from 1944. Next we have another Cary Grant film, The Awful Truth, with Irene Dunne from 1937. Almost took it out again. Next we have Bachelor Party from 1984 with Tom Hanks and Adrian Zmed. One of Tom Hanks' worst comedies, but still pretty fun. Get back in there. Next we have Bad Teacher on Blu-ray from, when the hell is this coming out? Like, I want to say 2011. Yeah, Cameron Diaz, Justin Timberlake, Jason Segel. Next we have Bad Words from 2014. Yeah, really funny movie with Jason Bateman. I believe he directed the film as well. This guy who enters the spelling bee competition just to sort of piss off his dad. Really funny stuff. Next we have Barton Fink, great Coen Brothers film from 1991 with John Turturro and John Goodman. Next we have Beautiful Girls from 1996, one of my favorite comedies of the 90s. Great cast. Yeah, Uma Thurman, Rosie O'Donnell, Lauren Holly, sorry. Yeah, Mira Sorvino, Natalie Portman, just love her in this film. Michael Rappaport, Timothy Hutton, and Matt Dillon. Really good stuff. Next we have Bedazzled from 2000 with Brendan Fraser and Elizabeth Hurley. Loved Elizabeth Hurley back then. Sexy as hell in that film. Next we have Being John Malkovich from 1999. My favorite film of that year. A great year for movies. Love this film. One of my favorite comedies. Spike Jonze directs. Charlie Kaufman's great screenplay. And then of course John Cusack, Cameron Diaz, and Catherine Keener. I also have this on the Criterion Collection. Next we have Being There from 1979. Great film starring Peter Sellers and Shirley MacLaine. Next we have the Beverly Hills Cop trilogy. Beverly Hills Cop, of course, the first one. Great Eddie Murphy movie from 1984. Then we have Beverly Hills Cop 2 from 87. I remember what's the name in this. What's her name? Yeah, Bridget Nielsen. I remember her like robbing the bank at the beginning of the movie. And Beverly Hills Cop 3 from 1994. Not great. Still pretty fun stuff when Eddie Murphy was relevant. Next we have The Big Lebowski, of course. Fantastic Coen Brothers film from 1998 with Jeff Bridges, John Goodman, Julianne Moore, Steve Buscemi, John Goodman. Get in there. Next we have Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Loved this movie when I was a kid. Of course, Keanu Reeves, Alex Winter, and George Carlin. Loved all the historical figures like Socrates, yeah, Genghis Khan, Joan of Arc, Abraham Lincoln, all the people they gather up. San Dimas high school football rules. Okay, up next we have Birdman from 2014, the Best Picture winner. Yeah, great film directed by Alejandro Gonzalez Iñárritu. Fantastic performance by Michael Keaton. Great cast. Edward Norton, Emma Stone, Naomi Watts, Zach Galifianakis, and so on. Great movie. Next we have Blended. Not a huge Adam Sandler fan, but I enjoy him when he teams up with Drew Barrymore. And this film from 2014, I liked Bella Thorne as the daughter as well. I thought she was good as a tomboy. Next we have The Blues Brothers from 1980. Classic comedy, of course, with John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd. Fantastic finish to that film. I love the police car chase. Yeah. Next we have Borat. Yeah, Sacha Baron Cohen's great comedy about Kazakhstan. I didn't like his follow-ups to this film, like Bruno, the Dictator. Um, yeah, I wasn't a fan of Brothers Grimm, but Borat's hilarious. Next we have Born Yesterday from 1950 with William Holden and Judy Holliday. Next we have Bowfinger from 1999. Yeah, really funny movie. Eddie Murphy's last great movie, in my opinion. Steve Martin, terrific. Heather Graham, great movie about the film biz. Really funny stuff. Next we have The Breakup from 2006. Yeah, enjoyed this film a lot with Vince Vaughn and Jennifer Aniston. Very sexy in that film. Next we have the runaway hit of 2011, Bridesmaids, of course. Kristen Wiig and Maya Rudolph, Melissa McCarthy, Rose Byrne. All terrific, all very funny in this movie. Goes on a little bit long in my opinion, but it has great moments in it. Next we have Bringing Up Baby, one of the great screwball comedies of all time, from 1938, with Cary Grant and Katharine Hepburn. Next we have Bruce Almighty from 2003 with Jim Carrey and Morgan Freeman. Not a fan of Evan Almighty, so that's why it's not in here. Next we have The Burbs from 1989, Joe Dante film with Tom Hanks, Carrie Fisher, Rick Ducommun, Bruce Dern, Corey Feldman. Absolutely love this film. Seen it over 100 times. Never get tired of it. Just crazy and wacky. I love it. Next we have another Coen Brothers film from 2008, Burn After Reading. Really funny, great cast, George Clooney, Brad Pitt, Frances McDormand, John Malkovich, Tilda Swinton. Next we have The Cable Guy from 1996, Ben Stiller film, of course, with Jim Carrey and Matthew Broderick. Yeah, Leslie Mann as well. Really fun stuff. Next we have The Campaign from 2012 with Will Ferrell and Zach Galifianakis. Probably a good film to watch this year in the upcoming months. Next we have Casa de Mi Padre, also from 2012 and also with Will Ferrell. Yeah, really funny, really enjoyed this a lot. Genesis Rodriguez, sexy as hell. Good stuff. Next we have Cedar Rapids from 2011. With Ed Helms. Yeah, I really like this film a lot. John C. Reilly, Anne Heche, terrific, sexy as hell in this film. Isaiah Whitlock Jr. and Sigourney Weaver, really great movie about I think an insurance salesman who goes to a conference in Cedar Rapids. Next we have The Change Up from, when was this? 2011, I think. Yeah, Ryan Reynolds and Jason Bateman. Didn't do too great, but I really like it a lot. I think it just works. Olivia Wilde, Leslie Mann again. Next we have Chef from 2014. Great film about cooking and food trucks. Very popular around where I live. Vince Vaughn. Not Vince Vaughn, sorry. John Favreau, Sofia Vergara, John Leguizamo, Scarlett Johansson, Oliver Platt, Dustin Hoffman, Robert Downey Jr. Really good cast, really good movie. If you like food, who doesn't like food? Next we have Clerks, of course, Kevin Smith's first film and his best film from 1994. Just still a fantastic movie. Then we have Clerks 2 from 2006. Yeah, not as good as the first one, obviously, but still pretty funny stuff. Next we have Click from, I have no idea right now, I think 2006. Yeah, one film with Adam Sandler that I do like, Kate Beckinsale and Christopher Walken. Oh, shit. My back hurts too, just aching everywhere. Next we have Comedian from 2002. With Jerry Seinfeld. The reason why I don't have this in my stand-up section is because it's not an actual stand-up special like those other ones. This is an actual movie about stand-up comedians, but still really good stuff if you like stand-up comedy and Jerry Seinfeld. Next we have Coming to America Fantastic film, of course. One of Eddie Murphy's best from 1988 with Arsenio Hall. Really funny, just great quotable lines. Next, we have the first two Crocodile Dundee movies. The first one from 1986 with Paul Hogan, Linda Kozlowski. Just love the crocodile out of the water scene when it grabs her canteen. And then Crocodile Dundee 2 from 1988. Good stuff. Not a fan of the third one. That's why it's not here. Next we have Date Night from 2010 with Steve Carell and Tina Fey. Pretty fun stuff. I liked James Franco and Mila Kunis. Mark Wahlberg as well. Good in this movie. Okay, back down over here and into the bottom corner. Next we have The Descendants. Fantastic comedy from... can't get a good grip here. From 2011 with George Clooney, Shailene Woodley. Directed by Alexander Payne. Terrific movie. Next we have Dirty Rotten Scoundrels from 1988 with Steve Martin, Michael Caine. Good fun. Next we have Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb. And if you saw my update, I think from last month, see I picked up Dr. Strangelove on Criterion Collection as well. My favorite Stanley Kubrick film, Peter Sellers, George C. Scott, fantastic. My all-time favorite comedy. Next we have Dodgeball, a true underdog story from 2004 with Vince Vaughn and Ben Stiller. Justin Long, really funny, good stuff. Next we have Dogma, another one of Kevin Smith's best from 1999. Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, of course. The late great Alan Rickman, Linda Fiorentino, Salma Hayek, Jason Lee. Whatever happened to him, man? I miss him in movies. Chris Rock. Good stuff. Next we have The Doom Generation from when this came out. I think it's 1995 with with a Greg Araki film from 95 with James Duvall, Rose McGowan, and Jonathan Shake. Probably shouldn't be in comedy now I think about it. It's more of a crime, like a teen crime movie. But anyway, moving on. Next we have Dragnet from 1987 with Dan Aykroyd and Tom Hanks. Not a great movie to be sure, but still pretty good stuff. Next we have Drinking Buddies from 2013. I think my man Scott Cineram recommended this movie to me. Really a big fan of Jake Johnson from New Girl. Always like seeing Anna Kendrick, Olivia Wilde. Ron Livingston, bunch of friends who work in a brewery in Chicago. Good stuff. Next we have Duck Soup from 1933, my one and only Marx Brothers film. Just a fantastic movie. Oh, get back in there. Oh my god. Next we have Dumb and Dumber from 1994, of course, Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels, just classic. Next we have Dutch. Adored this movie with Ed O'Neill, with Ethan Embry, then he was known as Ethan Randall, from 1991. Great film, set during Thanksgiving. Next we have Tim Burton's Ed Wood from 1994. Of course, fantastic performance by Johnny Depp as probably the worst director of all time. What's his name? Martin Landau, fantastic as Bela Lugosi. Just a great movie. Next we have EdTV from 1999. Of course, predated the whole TV reality craze. Woody Harrelson, Liz Hurley, Jenna Elfman, and Woody. I already said Woody Harrelson. Matthew McConaughey. He's the main player in that movie. Next we have Everything Must Go. I believe from 2011. Will Ferrell, really funny. Good little movie. Next we have Evolution. Fun movie from 2001. Sort of a comedic X-Files with David Duchovny and Julianne Moore, Sean William Scott as well, Orlando Jones. Next we have Fanboys from 2009. Yeah, fantastic movie, of course, if you like Star Wars. Yeah, just really good, great ending. All the Star Wars references, just fantastic. Next we have Father of the Bride. This is the 1950 version with Spencer Tracy, Joan Bennett, and Liz Taylor. I grew up watching the Steve Martin versions, the remakes, and I enjoyed those films, but I never thought about picking them up really. Yeah, the first one and the sequel. Next we have A Fish Called Wanda from 1988, one of the best comedies of the 80s with John Cleese and Kevin Kline, Jamie Lee Curtis, Michael Palin, just a fantastic film. Next we have Fletch from 1985, one of Chevy Chase's best. Next we have Forgetting Sarah Marshall, fantastic film from the Judd Apatow people. Yeah, Jason Segel wrote the script, who of course stars in the movie with Kristen Bell, Mila Kunis, and Russell Brand. Next we have Four Rooms from 1995, I believe. Yeah, great movie with Tim Roth, Madonna, Antonio Banderas, to name a few. Set in a hotel, directed by different directors, Quentin Tarantino, one of them. Next we have Friday, also from 1995, a great fun movie with Ice Cube and Chris Tucker. Next we have Fun with Dick and Jane from 2005, Jim Carrey and Téa Leoni. I'm going to end on the F's because I'm up to over 20 minutes there. And last but not least, we have Funny People from 2009, my favorite Judd Apatow film, with Adam Sandler, Seth Rogen, and Leslie Mann. Again, if you're a fan of stand-up comedy, I really like this film. It didn't do as well as films like Knocked Up and 40-Year-Old Virgin, but I loved it. Okay, so that is part 1 of comedy, and obviously up next it'll be part 2. Thank you for watching as always, and until next time, I'll see ya.